The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network. I should know what the hell my channel is. Home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Once again, it's cold in Limdar Lake. Hi, my name is Ron Jeckett. Welcome to the program for this 20th day of January, 20 to 22. And we got ourselves, I think, an interesting matchup today. It is the Texas Rangers, who are only a half game out of first, and we're, on this April 26, 1985. Enough into the replay that we want to get some of these more oddball teams a chance to get on, because you don't know at this point, 3 weeks into the season, what our storylines are fully going to be yet. So the Rangers are 8-6. They are coming into this a half game out of first place, and they were one of those teams that just kind of, they should get some attention. They host the Toronto Blue Jays, who are at 7-8. Aren't quite the big story that they will be, but, the Blue Jays are a good team. They won 102 games, so we try to have them on when we can. And so that's the setup for you. It's Dickie Knowles for the Rangers and Jimmy Key for the Blue Jays. 76 degrees. It's clear. It's not scalding hot in Arlington, Texas. But hopefully you don't scald yourself either. That's a terrible segue. It's time for baseball right here. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1985. Tonight from the Arlington Stadium in Arlington, Texas, it is the Texas Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So Dickie Knowles has taken his warm-up tosses. As we said, a gorgeous night for baseball here in north central Texas. 76 degrees, clear skies, winds from right to left at 11 miles an hour. Dickie Knowles, of course, not really an ace at any point in his career. 29 years old, a fastball pitcher at 87, and a ground ball pitcher, making his second start of the year. He did go 6 nights ago against Milwaukee, in which he took the loss in a 6-4 game. He went 5 1/3 innings, threw 95 pitches, 11 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. He didn't give up any homers. He walked 1 and struck out 2. So Knowles, kind of a Swiss Army pitcher at this point. He can both start and relieve. The lineup for the Blue Jays: Damaso Garcia is at second. He'll lead off. Rance Mullinick's at third. He'll bat second. Lloyd Mosby is in center. He'll hit third. Willie Upshaw cleans up at first. George Bell in left will bat fifth. Len Matuzik is a DH. He'll go sixth. Ernie Witt behind the plate, bats seventh. Why in the hell is Jesse Barfield hitting eighth in right field? And Tony Fernandez is a shortstop. He'll bat ninth. Jimmy Key should go about 110 pitches. Yeah, the Blue Jays. And we don't even have to do ads for Labatt or anything, Mr. Zalapsky. Defensively for the Rangers, and not the New York kind, Gary Ward, a 5 and an 8 in left. Gary Wright is a 3 and an 8 in center. And it's not Gary Parrish, but Larry Parrish. So Gary, and Larry. I think I've walked into an episode of Newhart here. Normally a DH, or a third baseman, he's a 2 and a 6 in right. Buddy Bell is a 7 at third. Curtis Wilkerson a 4 at short. Toby Harrah is a 4 at second. And Pete O'Brien a 6 at first. Don Slott behind the plate. Slott a 5 and a 4, and the former Philadelphia Philly, and I think Chicago Cub. Dickie Knowles is a 7 on the mound with a fielding percentage of .906. So, with all that, we're ready to go. Damaso Garcia, 314, 2 RBI. Already had 70 at-bats. Game 16 for the Jays. Game 15 for the Rangers. And Garcia swings a ground ball to third. Bell across the way to O'Brien, and that's how this one starts for a 1 out. Brings up Rance Mulliniks. Rance in that picture either looks like he is about to do some sort of public appearance, but he looks wide awake for that, doesn't he? Rance at 400. A homer and 4 RBI. Knowles winds and deals, and there's a base hit left side. Gary Ward. Throat will pick it up. I think it's George right in center. Bobby Cox hit Barfield 8th versus righties all year. He was not a proponent of modern lineup construction. Would that be perhaps why he only won 1 World Series? Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Don't hate me, Braves fans. Thanks for that, Mr. Zalapsky. Here's Mosby. Lloyd at 254, 2 homers and 9 RBI. Knowles from the stretch. Mosby sends that one into left field. Ward will pick it up. And so the Blue Jays are cooking here, with runners on first and second and 1 out for Willie Upshaw. 214 on the young year. 2 homers and 12 RBI. Not necessarily cleanup hitter material, but it's early enough in the year. Pitch to Upshaw. Willie laces that to center. Right comes in. DeRide to Schwinn, and he makes the catch. Oh, wait. No, he's making the dive, and he doesn't get it. He got past him. Mulliniks will hold at third. Mosby will stop in second, and Upshaw's got a single. That was pretty shallow, and Wright dove and couldn't get it, but it took a funny hop, and George could put it right in front of him. Wright could put it right in front of him. So the bases are loaded for George Bell. 344, 4 homers, and 9 RBI. I was wondering why that wasn't an out, and now I know why. I don't think the chalkboard is as intuitive in this one as it was last year. Pitch to Bell with the bases loaded. That's going to get home at least 1. Mulliniks will score. Bell is on with a single. Mosby's got speed, but it was too shallow, and Mosby will hold at third. So the Blue Jays are up 1-0. Mosby on third, Upshaw on second, and Bell on first. And here's Len Matuszek. Len is 3 for 7. He's got 2 triples and 3 RBI. Triple here. Pretty much makes Dickie Knowles' night academic. Matuszek, that's a base hit. Mosby will score. Ward picks it up in left center. Upshaw will round third. He will score. Bell goes into third. Matuszek gets a 2-run single, and the Jays, with 1 out in the first, lead it 3-0. And this would be where I'd insert some sort of joke about those cell users that using Bell Canada. Call your friends. The Jays are up big early. Here's Ernie Witt. Ernie at 258. 3 homers and 12 RBI. So runners on the corners and 1 out. Witt swings. There's a ground ball to O'Brien. They're going to try for 2. Wilkerson for 1. There is no throw back to first. So Witt will reach on the fielder's choice. Matuszek is retired, and Bell makes it 4-0. 2 out for Barfield. 280, a homer, and 4 RBI. So Dickie Knowles won't be writing about this in Baseball Digest, that's for sure. Pitch to Barfield. Jesse swings, and that'll drop for a base hit. So Witt, for a catcher blessed with good speed, scampers to third. The Rangers, definitely an early version of Saturday Night Live, and they're not ready for primetime players. CTV Game of the Week, Friday night, with Ron Jeckett and Tony Kubek. Hey, I love Tony. Speaking of Tonys, here's Fernandez. Tony off to a flying start, 333, 3 triples and 4 RBI. So Knowles about 1 run away from being yanked in the first. Tony Fernandez will ground this one to first. O'Brien saves his pitcher at least for the second inning, and that will retire the side. But the Blue Jays get 4 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Half an inning in the books. The Blue Jays 4. Here come the Rangers. And you're going to hand Jimmy Key a 4-run lead. Key, 24 years old, a fastball pitcher at 85 and a flyball plus pitcher, making his 4th start of the year. 1-1 with an ERA of 7.08. He did get his first win of the year on the 21st, so 5 days ago against Baltimore, an 11-7 win. He went 6 1/3 innings, threw 100 pitches, 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned. A homer. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Against the Rangers up in Toronto on the 17th, a 7-inning no decision that he probably should have lost, but the Blue Jays came back to win or won the game 7-6. So overall, Pee Wee, really? Wow. 20 1/3 innings, 20 hits, 16 runs all earned. He's given up 3 homers, walked 8 and struck out 7. Jimmy Key looks rather ponderous in that picture, doesn't he? Doesn't look very happy. It's like, nope, but I drink Molson. Well, you know, it's Labatt Blue Jay baseball, so, you know, just buck up, kid. Here's a lineup he'll face. It's Toby Hara at second. He'll lead off for the Rangers. Ward in left will bat second. Buddy Bell, off to a herd of thundering turtle start, hitting 115, will bat third and play third. Larry Parrish in right cleans up. Cliff Johnson, the DH, hitting 340. The Yankees would wish he did that for them. Right and center will bat sixth. O'Brien at first will bat seventh. Don Slaught behind the plate goes eighth. Curtis Wilkerson bats ninth, and Dickie Knowles threw 37 pitches in his half of the first. Defensively for the Blue Jays, George Bell is a 5 and a 5 in left. Lloyd Port Mosby is a 5 and a 4 in center, and Jesse Barfield an 8 and a 10 in right. That is a howitzer. Rance Mullenix a 3 at third. Tony Fernandez an 8 at short. Damaso Garcia a 4 at second. Willie Upshaw a 6 at first. Ernie Witt a 6 and a 3 behind the plate. And Key, a lefty, is a 7 with a .957 fielding percentage. Toby Hara, a good start, 293, 2 doubles and 8 RBI. Rangers spotted the Blue Jays 4 in the top of the first. Harris swings into left center field. Mosby rides the swing, 1 out. Gary Ward, 203. 2 homers and 9 RBI. Tony Kubek was a great broadcaster. Yes, and I wonder how much they paid him, because the CTV games normally were on Wednesday nights. We were lucky to have in the early days of the franchise. Tribe Fan is wearing his parka over his bathing suit. Good afternoon, everybody. Hooray. Day 1 of about 14 with the high temps won't hit freezing. You'd love Vermont. By the way, the temperature right now... Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of -9 degrees.
Thank you.
You are so very welcome.
And we have a wind chill advisory, by the way, out for tonight. So when we're doing the Red Sox and the Royals tomorrow, the wind chill will be about 20 below zero. Frozen tundra of Green Bay. Gave you Ward, 203, 2 homers, and 9 RBI. Yes, Swedish Chef, -9. Now, do you get your wind primarily off the lake there, or no? Pitch to Ward. Gary swings. That's a base hit into right center field. Barfield will pick it up. So Ward has a single. That'll bring up Buddy Bell. Buddy at 115. No homers and 2 RBI. And I love the use of the Swedish Chef to get around the auto mod for swearing. That's very good. You give yourself a cookie or a warm cup of coffee, one of the two. Usually, yes, especially walking downtown Cleveland. I'd imagine so. So I'm sure, wind chills and you are something that are very familiar. Pitch to Bell. Buddy swings, ground ball over the mound for a base hit. And so the Rangers, Ward will bluff going to third. Bobby Valentine, by the way, is the manager of Texas. With the exception of the Red Sox, Valentine was a good manager. He got a lot out of the Mets. He made the Rangers into at least a respectable team in the mid-'80s. Couldn't get over the hump with dethrone Kansas City or California. Larry Parrish at 273, 3 homers and 9 RBI. So runners on first and second, 1 out. In the bottom of the first. Pitch to Parrish is into left field. George Bell will go back, but that will stay nicely in the yard for an out. Ward will tag, and the throw goes in the infield. So 2 out, runners on the corners for Cliff Johnson. Cliff at 340, a homer and 10 RBI. Bobby Valentine is indeed not a master of disguise. I was thinking of that when I was talking him up. And honestly, that's better than being known for being an absolute disaster in Boston. Not that I'm bitter or anything that he replaced Tito Francona. Not at all. Pitch to Johnson. Cliff swings a ground ball past the mound. Fernandez on the grass over to Upshaw, and the Rangers are stymied. They're going to leave 2. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 1, it's 4-0. So Garcia starts the second. Dickie Knowles a bat first. 9 batters, 37 pitches, and 6 hits. 4 runs, all earned. Garcia was not part of that offense. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Dickie. Struck him out. He got him on a 1-2 fastball. And then I'll bring up Mullenix, who singled and scored. And again, I would venture to guess, looking at Jimmy Key's shot in the background here on Rance's shot, that those are yearbook pictures or something like that. Picture day down in Dundee. Pitch to Mullenix. Rance strikes out. A full count curve. Swung on and missed. So we got a good morning and a good afternoon. Dickie, not a strikeout expert at all. See if we can get Mosby to get the good night. Lloyd singled and scored. And speaking of Lloyd, after the game in Canada, join Lloyd Robertson and Harvey Carrick for the CTV Evening News. And win or lose for the Blue Jays, that's the kind of day it's been. And Zarley Zalapski Smurf just passed out. Pitch to Mosby. He will lace that into right field for a hit. Two out for Upshaw. Willie singled and scored his first time up. 7th hit for the Jays here with 2 outs in the second. Dickie Knowles deals. And he walked Upshaw. And so he's right back in the kitchen sink again. Runners on first and second for George Bell, who singled home a run in the first. And then later scored. Bell has 12 runs in 16 games. First and second, 2 out. Knowles from the stretch. Bell swings, popped up, left side. Buddy Bell. Bell on Bell. Ding dong, the inning is dead. No runs, a hit, the Jays strand 2. We go to the bottom of the second, 4-0 Toronto. It is George Wright. I got that one right the second time. Pete O'Brien and Don Slott to face Key here in the bottom of the second. George hitting .346 with 7 RBI. Right back up the box, and there wasn't anything Key or Garcia could do about that. So a leadoff single for the Rangers. And that'll bring up Pete O'Brien. .298, 3 homers, and 11 RBI. Tony Inc. is our newest follower. I somehow missed that. Actually, that might have came after the Met-Cardinal game. And Tony is my New York City follower. 212. Someone else subbed. I got a new sub, but it's not marked. So whoever that was, thank you very much. I give you O'Brien's numbers, .298, 3 homers, and 11 RBI. Well, I did now. Pitch from Key. O'Brien, line drive. Garcia snares it, and Wright goes back to first. Good afternoon. Midlife Crisis. 85 Knowles versus that Blue Jays. Well, they could sing, or I could sing. And bloodbath would be appropriate. They got 4 off of Knowles in the first. If this is CTV, you should be up selling their new pay TV. Was that always part of CTV? TSN, the sports network, Canada's version of ESPN with just as much Australian rules football. And a little more Don Cherry. Don Slott, .231, a homer and 7 RBI. And of course, the French version would be RDS. And don't make me pronounce that. Pitch to Slott. Don in the left field. Bell going back. That ball is well struck, and that is gone. So it's 4-2. Don Slott, Texas Ranger. So a 2 spot for the Rangers here. As Slott puts it over George Bell's head and about 10 feet over that wall. 3:30 down the lines here at the old Turnpike Stadium. Lots of darts. Okay. I forget. Canada's part of the Commonwealth. Darts are fun to watch. 180. So 4-2. Wilkerson at .220. No homers and 4 RBI. Yay for a network showing T20 cricket. John Boy Media, I gotta watch that one. He did cricket in baseball terms. Speaking of pay sports services, I finally got my ESPN Plus subscription figured out, because now there's stuff I want to watch. Hockey and the Australian Open and the PGA Tour goes to that. So I got that switched around, and this morning was the U19 Cricket World Cup. The other day I watched a few minutes of Ireland, Pakistan, or Ireland, India. You have to watch that. I like cricket. Pitch to Wilkerson. There's a little looper in the left field. George Bell will pick that up, and the Rangers are teeing off on Key. I have international cricket, and at one point I had the helper to go with it. I really wish, though, that it was a good cricket game that did all 3. T20, 1 days, and, of course, test. Wickets equals outs, yep. And England, down in Australia, took a lot of wickets as they played like a bunch of ashes when they lost the ashes. Here's Toby Harrah. He's 0 for 1. Key's opening 9, 28 pitches, an inning and a third, so he's not doing much better than Knowles. 5 hits, the 2 runs coming on the Slott home run. And he hasn't walked or struck out anybody. Throw to first, Wilkerson back. Wasn't even thinking that. And I'm still not. 1 out, pitch to Harrah. Struck him out. First for Key. Swung on and missed a full count. Gary Ward singled his first time up. Lots of offense in this one. 2 out in the second. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Toronto, and they've left 4 on. The Rangers, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they've left 2 on. You kind of wonder why we just kind of keep going back and forth in conversation. You could join us Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on twitch.tv/Retrosports Network and join the fun live. Wilkerson back to first and still not stealing him. Pitch to Ward. Gary hits a ground ball. Key to off the mound to his left. Spears it, throws it to first, and that retires the side. 2 runs on the home run by Don Slaught. 3 hits and no errors. Texas getting back into this one after 2, 4-2 Toronto. So Matusik, Witt, and Barfield to face Knowles here in the third. Dickie at 61 pitches through 2 innings. Ouch. Matusik had that 2-run single in the first. This time he's into right field. Larry Parrish in the corner for the out, 1 away. Here's Witt. Ernie drove in a run. On a fielder's choice, he's 0 for 1. That's a base hit in the left center past Wilkerson. And Toronto has 8 hits. So here's Barfield. Jesse singled his first time up. Pitch from Knowles. Barfield, ground ball to Wilkerson, might be 2. Goes to Hara at second for 1. Over to O'Brien, and it will be 2. So a 6-4-3 double play gets the Knowles out of trouble. No runs, a hit, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the third, 4-2 Toronto. So Bell, Parrish, and Johnson to face Key. Buddy singled his first time up. Elevated that average to 132. Right back up the box. Comebacker to Key. Over to Upshaw. 1 out. Brings up Larry Parrish, who's 0 for 1. There's a fly ball, center field. Mosby will make the catch. 2 out. Arlington Stadium. Not to be confused with the ballpark at Arlington, or the really expensive big ballpark at Arlington known as Globe Life, was a compromise situation. It was originally called Turnpike Stadium, because I believe 35W or 20. Someone from Dallas will know. Dallas and Fort Worth for a long time were both successful franchises in the Texas League. But when baseball started to move west in earnest, Cliff Johnson, by the way, 0 for 1. Those 2 cities who are rivals swallowed their pride in hopes to land a big league club and combine forces. It's out near the DFW airport. And built this stadium. I don't think there's a roof anywhere on it, and they certainly didn't play a lot of day games outside of April and September. Pitch to Johnson. Cliff swings, and there's a fly ball left center field. Mosby inches over, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the fourth, 4-2 Toronto. Of course, now the Cowboys are out there with the Rangers. So one of you will know, this used to be a parking lot, but is this where the Cowboys play now? Because they're both in the same general area. The new Globe Life at Arlington and Jerry's Palace. Dickie Knowles gives me the fatigue warning. Tony Fernandez is 0 for 1. Knowles starts the fourth with a strikeout. Got him on a 1-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Isn't that the 11th commandment? Thou shalt not play open-air baseball in the afternoon in the summer. It is in Texas. Texas at night in the dead of summer and isn't exactly something to write home about unless you want to brag about large flying bugs. While they built the Astrodome in Houston, they built a temporary style ballpark, Colt Stadium, which they moved at whole, well, they put it in pieces, down to Mexico. And one of the things they realized was that the mosquitoes were Texas-sized. So they'd go around with trucks and spray DDT all over the place to kill the mosquitoes. And, other side effects. Garcia is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, opening 18 for Knowles, 77 pitches, 3 1/3 innings, 8 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Pitch to Garcia. There's a fly ball, left center field. Right will go back, and that's 2. Here's Mullenix. Rance is 1 for 2. Has scored and struck out. So, no wonder why both Arlington and Houston have retractable domes. Although I think the Astros prefer to play with the roof closed most of the time. Mullenix 1 for 2, a single, a strikeout, and a run scored. There's a fly ball, right center field. George Wright moves over and will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. They might be able to bring Dickie Knowles back out for the 5th. Bottom of the 4th, 4-2 Toronto. And now the standings kind of take some meaning. San Diego and Los Angeles are tied in the NL West. Houston just a half game back. Atlanta at 500. Cincinnati now playing 500 ball. 2.5 back. In the East, the Cubs win today. They're now 11-4. The Mets, Cardinals, and Expos are 3.5 back. Pittsburgh and Philly are wondering when football season's coming. Seattle's in first place in the AL West. Texas a half game back. They lost yesterday. Oakland coming back down to earth. Minnesota, a surprise, at 7-10. Red Sox and Indians are first and second, although the Yankees beat them yesterday. Oh, I gotta take this. Hold on. Oh, boy! I got a goodie for you here. Hey, darling? Okay. You need to get a test from work.
Why?
Yesterday's morning person
Yeah?
tested positive for COVID.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, well, you can't monetize this one now. So yeah, call the office up and see if we can get a couple. I feel fine, but yes, isn't that special? Oh, lovely indeed. So I now have to keep an eye on myself for the next 2 weeks. Ha ha ha. All right, we're going to put up the trouble sign because I got to make another phone call. But we'll be back for those of you watching here. This is Retro Sports Network. Ha ha ha. Indeed. Oh. Where was I? Yeah, I think we went through all this. You got to see it while I was on the phone with that conversation I didn't really want to have. Okay. No, I feel fine. Obviously, for where we live and what my wife does for work, it's important that neither one of us get it, but hopefully she's okay as well. All right, back to the ball game. Bottom of the fourth inning, nobody out. A real-life rain delay. How about that? George Wright singled his first time up and scored. Pitch to Wright is into left field. Bell comes in and makes the catch. So, yeah, hopefully everything will be okay. A couple weeks ago, my wife and I both didn't feel well. I had to postpone a football stream. And, they have COVID tests where she works. So, they're the rapid ones. So you stick it in this cardboard and put some solution on it. And I was relieved to know that not only did I not have COVID, but I also tested negative for being pregnant. Here's Pete O'Brien. He's 0 for 1. O'Brien strikes out, a 2-2 on the outside corner, 2 out. Here's Slot. Don hit that 2-run homer down the line and left. In the second, those were the only 2 runs for the Rangers here in the bottom of the fourth. Pitch to Don. He draws the walk, so Jimmy Key hasn't pitched all that well either. Curtis Wilkerson singled. He's 1 for 1. 2 out, bottom of the fourth. My wife is now trying to figure out how to get some tests so we can both be tested. Be my second COVID test. Tim, you had it, right? Wilkerson with a runner on first. Hits a pop-up right side. Garcia into foul territory will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits. The Rangers leave a runner on after 4. 4-2. So Mosby, Upshaw, and Bell here in the 5th. Lloyd has singled twice and scored a run. Knowles pretty much down to brass tacks, 88 pitches. He should go about 90. Mosby draws a walk. Lloyd has some speed. Here's Upshaw. Willie has walked, singled, and scored. Knowles. And Slot have a few words. Pitch from Dickie. Upshaw swings a ground ball up the box. Might be 2. Harrod to Wilkerson for 1, and there's no throw to first. There is, but it's late. So Upshaw reaches on the fielder's choice. 1 out for Bell. And Bobby Valentine will go to his pen. And bring in Dave Schmidt. Schmidt, 28 years old, a fastball pitcher, 86, and a ground ball plus pitcher. Making his sixth appearance on the year. His lone save came against Toronto on the 16th. 2 innings and 2 walks in the save. Last appearance was the 22nd against the Birds. 8-2 was the final score of that win for Texas. 2/3 of an inning, 9 pitches, a hit, and a strikeout. So overall, Schmidt 7 2/3, 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He walked 6 and struck out 4 so far. And at 75 pitches, Bobby Valentine hopes that he can go a while here. 1 out in the 5th. In case we can't finish this game, for obvious reasons, we will pick it up where we left off at noon tomorrow. That's if, depending on what my wife tells me, what her work wants her to do. Yep.
Work said I'm going to come in and check me about the test. If I'm negative, I'll work. If I'm not,
Okay.
but they want me to do it when I come to work.
All right. So I don't need to take a test now, so we will continue with the baseball game. But my wife gets to be swabbed when she goes into work. Bell, 1 for 2, with an RBI and a run scored. Boy, doesn't this put a damper on this one, gang? Pitch to Bell. George, it's a ground ball to Hara. Wilkerson for 1 and no throw to first. So fielder's choice, 4-6. Here's Matuzik. Len is 1 for 2. Had that 2-run single in the first, part of the 4 runs out there for Toronto. Back to the ballpark being near Jerry World. The new Rangers Park is a hop, skip, and a jump from there. Got to see the mostly constructed Globe Life when he visited family Christmas of 19. That's cool. Runner on first, Matuzik swings. Ground ball to short. Wilkerson will go to Hara for the out. And 6-4 retires the side. Halfway home on a weird Thursday afternoon. Toronto 4, Texas 2. Well, if you joined us late or skipped through the parts where we got some interesting phone calls, Here's how we got here. The Blue Jays scored 4 in the first. George Bell, a RBI single to make it 1-0. Len Matusik with a 2-run single made it 3-0. And then Ernie Witt with a fielder's choice made it 4-0. Don Slott cut that in half with a 2-run shot down the line in the second. Dickie Knowles' day is done. 4 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs. All earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Jimmy Key, 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both of those coming on the homer from Slott. And Dave Schmidt is the Texas pitcher. Key to face Hara. 18 batters deep for Jimmy. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. The homer, as we said, to Slott. He has walked 1 and struck out 2. Hara struck out once. He's 0 for 2. In the shallow center field, Mosby, 1 out. Brings up Gary Ward. Gary 1 for 2 with a single. There's a base hit into right field. Barfield will pick it up. Garcia with not a great play, not a great defensive second baseman. They make up for it because Fernandez is an exceptional shortstop. Buddy Bell is 1 for 2. He's got himself a single. Ward on first. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. 4-2 in this strange COVID-related delayed game. Bill hits a line drive to Fernandez. Tony has it. Ward goes back to first. 2 out. So here's Parrish. Larry is 0 for 2. Throw to first. Ward isn't going anywhere. Parrish hits a chopper to third. Mullenix has it. He'll go to Garcia for the easy out. And that will retire the side. Texas, no runs, a hit. They leave a runner on. We go to the 6th, 4-2 Toronto. So Ernie Witt, Jesse Barfield, and Tony Fernandez at the plate. Witt 1 for 2. Has singled and driven in a run. Liner in the center field. That's a base hit. Wright will pick it up. Witt has singled. Here's Barfield. Jesse 1 for 2. Has singled and grounded into a double play. 9 hits now for the Jays. 6 for the Rangers. Both teams have left on 5. Barfield. That's a base hit left field. Ward will pick it up. Gary turns and fires it in the infield. And it's first and second. And that's the 10th hit for Toronto. Here's Fernandez. Tony's 0 for 2. Dickie Knowles struck him out. Pitch to Fernandez. Tony hits a base hit in the left field. Witt will round third. Ward has a good arm, and Witt won't run. So bases are loaded. Nobody out here in the 6th for Damaso Garcia, who is 0 for 3 and a strikeout. Or with a strikeout. So Witt on third. A single will score Barfield for sure. And Fernandez has good speed on first. Garcia. That will drop into left center field. Ward will pick it up. Witt will score. Barfield will hold at third because Gary throws a BB right to the bag at third. So it's 5-2 Toronto. Dave Schmidt has been solvable, unlike my Wordle puzzle for today. And that brings up Rance Mullenix. Rance is 1 for 3. He has singled, struck out, and scored. There's a ground ball. Schmidt picks it up. They're going to go for 2. They'll let the run score. Hara 1, O'Brien 2. Barfield scores. It's 6-2, but there's 2 out. I'm assuming. Yes. So Fernandez on third. Here's Mosby. Lloyd is 2 for 2. He has singled twice, scored, and walked. Wordle? Oh, yes, if you've been on Facebook. The daily 5-letter word game that we all play solitaire, but it's the same word. Not for years. Not Words with Friends. So 6-2 Jays. Mosby has singled twice, scored, and walked. In the right field, Parrish going back there. That's going to run out of real estate, and the Blue Jays lead it 8-2. So Mosby, who I don't remember having all that much power, kind of puts a stamp on this one. That's his 3rd of the year. So a 4 spot on the board for Toronto here in the 8th. That's true. Yeah, Wordle, a.k.a. Post-Game Show Network lingo. Speaking of Canada, and Zalapsky will remember this. That was a show en français. I remember watching that, actually, I think on CTV in about this time frame. Made the proverbial family vacation, the seminal one, the one that was the big one. And I remember watching lingo then. It wasn't on very long, or, we didn't get CTV where I was growing up. From Scully to a Jacques Doucette impression. Hey, we're versatile here. Here's Upshaw. Willie's 1 for 2. He has singled, scored, and walked. 2 outs here in the 6th. And Upshaw gets hit. Well, that got him on the arm. Upshaw goes out and glares at him. The cat says otherwise. Emmy didn't feel good this morning. She revisited her breakfast. So 2 out, top the 6 in the game now. That's just not going to end. George Bell 1 for 3. He has singled, driven in a run, and scored. And now we got a fight. Bell gets hit. Schmidt and Bell throw some punches, and Schmidt is gone. So Dave Schmidt, I don't know what was said, but he nailed Bell, and Bell charged the mound. Somehow Don Slott saved the Bell, or as opposed to saved by the Bell. And so Dave Schmidt is gone. George Bell, known for his gentlemanly behavior to begin with, just ask Bruce Keeson, goes to first. And the Rangers bring in Dave Stewart. Yep, Uncle Stu, before he was Uncle Stu. Yep, Tribe Fan gets the cookie for the day, he called it. Stewart, making his 6th appearance, known as Smoke, for that 94-mile-an-hour fastball he throws, 28 years old, fly ball pitcher, 1-0 with a save and a 2.08 ERA. He last went to 23rd, where he got his win against Baltimore in a 4-2 game. 2 innings, 22 pitches, and a strikeout. So 8 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He has walked 5 and struck out 9. Now, he is known as, quote, the worst GM not named Jeter. That's Brad's words, not mine. So Upshaw on second, Bell on first, Matusik at the plate. Len is 1 for 3. His single in the first made it 4-0. Len swings a ground ball to third. Bell, and I think we're finally out of the sixth. Wow. So the Blue Jays cracked this one open. Now they hired Kim, however you pronounce her last name. You got to call the Rockies the worst front office in baseball. There's some Yankee fans who would like you to hear their complaints about Brian Cashman. I'm not listening either. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the sixth, 8-2 Toronto. So Jimmy Key, who looks so happy, will face Cliff Johnson, George Wright, and Pete O'Brien here in the bottom of the sixth. Johnson is 0 for 2. Pitch from Key is a fly ball to right. Barfield will come in. Jesse, 1 out. Here's George Wright. George is 1 for 2. Singled and scored. Right, line drive to short. Fernandez, 2 out. Yeah, Brad has the right point. I'll send flowers to those poor Bronx bums and their 4 championships and 6 World Series trips under Brian. Here's Pete O'Brien. Pete is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. O'Brien hits a chopper. Fernandez is going to pick this up, but he will misplay it. So there's no throw. He bobbled it. I think he was rushing to try to get O'Brien and trying to transfer it. He played hot potato. First error of the ball game. And 2 out for Slot, who homered to right center is in the second. Slot has 2 and 9 RBI. Yankees aren't worse this past decade. It's just that more teams in the American League East have gotten better. The Blue Jays for 1, the Rays for 2, and of course the Red Sox as well. Pitch to Slot. Don swings, line drive to Garcia, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error. We go to the top of the 7th inning, 8-2 Toronto. So Witt, Barfield, and Fernandez. Ernie 2 for 3. Has singled twice, driven in a run, and scored. Pitch from Stewart to start the 7th into left field. Ward going back, but Gary has room. 1 out. Speaking of Toronto, Brad thought that they were headed to the World Series in 2015, not Kansas City. Yeah, it was certainly their best team, but the ALCS was a repeat of 1985. The real one. We don't know who's in our LCS yet. Barfield is 2 for 3. He has singled twice and scored a run. Got him. First strikeout for Stewart. Barfield swings and misses on a full count fastball. 2 out. For Tony Fernandez, who was 1 for 3 with a strikeout. There's a chopper to third. Bell on the cut of the grass over to first. And Fernandez is retired. Stretch time, 8-2 Jays. So it'll be Wilkerson, Hara, and Ward to face Key here in the 7th. Curtis 1 for 2 with a single. So, if you caught us about a half hour ago, you know what's going on. To repeat, one of the people that comes in to do my care in the morning tested positive for COVID. So the wife is going to get tested when she goes to work. If she tests negative, and I feel fine, we'll have the Royals and the Red Sox for you tomorrow at noon. If we test positive, if she tests positive, then I'm positive. And then we're just kind of go by ear. So No guarantee of a stream down tomorrow, but that's where we are. Wilkerson, as I said, 1 for 2 with a single. Pitch from Key. Curtis swings. Ground ball to first. Upshaw underhands it to Key for the out. Well, thank you, Brad. We're positive that we hope to be negative as well. Toby Harrah is 0 for 3. Opening 27 for Key. 99 pitches. 6 in the third inning, 6 hits. The home run to Slot. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Pitch to Harrah. Got him. Full count, swung on and missed, and that's the third for Key. Here's Ward. Gary 2 for 3 with 2 singles. If there is a change in the schedule, if you are a member of our Digital Dice Facebook group, that's where I post my cancellations. So we will know, hopefully, even if Sarah tests negative, we'll play it by ear. Brad got the 85 cards from Inside Pitch a few weeks ago. Going through those cards has brought back many memories, I'm sure. What's your impression of the game? George Hendrick was a pirate. Well, Todd B says he's a scoundrel, but yes, he was a pirate. Pitch to Gary Ward. Here's a slow chopper off the mound. Upshaw. He goes to the bag, and that is an out. So after 7, no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 8th, 8-2 Toronto. So Garcia, Mullenix, and Mosby to face Stewart. Brad's enjoying it, but been playing his own basic version for learning purposes. That's what we said about certain Klingon magazines, for visual purposes. We'll add more elements over time, taking it slow. All right. Garcia 1 for 4. He has a single, struck out, and has driven in a run. Love the cards. Accent his on love. You can't beat the team colors and layout. Nope. Stewart starts the 8th with a fly ball to right. Parrish moves over. Oh, and makes a fine catch in the alley. A diving catch, 1 out for Mullenix. Rance is 1 for 4. Has singled, scored, and struck out. Pitch to Rance is a ground ball base hit left side. Ward will pick it up. So the Jays 8 runs now, 14 hits an error, and they've left on 7. Rangers 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and they've left on 6. Set on eBay of either 80 or 81, Brad tells us, for $30, which is a good deal. Mosby, he had 18 homers. I forgot that Brad had said something about Mosby being a power hitter, and that kind of got lost in the chat. Anyway, 3 for 3 today. He has homered and singled twice. Has now driven in 11 runs and scored 12 on the year. Mosby hits a little nubber off the bat to O'Brien. Stewart and O'Brien forgot to underhand it, and Mosby is safe. So that's the 15th hit. So Mullenix on second, Mosby on first for Upshaw, who was 1 for 2, a single, a walk, and a run scored. If you listened to Digital Dice yesterday, Mr. Gardner apparently had some apple cider vinegar returned through his nose. That's not where you want the coin return to go. Pitch to Upshaw. Willie sends this one into left field. Ward going back there. Gary is going to make the catch. Mullenix will tag, goes to third. The throw goes in the middle of the infield, 2 out. And Tribe Fan, being the gentleman that he is, Tim says, not wondering. Here's Bell. George 1 for 3. Hit by a pitch. got into a fight with Dave Schmidt, drove in a run, and a run scored. I alluded to earlier that George Bell being the most diplomatic batter on the face of the earth, just ask Bruce Keyson. 183 season when Keyson was with the Red Sox. Sunday afternoon game, Keyson plunked Bell. And George, again, being the Lady Bing winner of baseball players, took exception to being hit, ran out to the mound, and took a karate chop at Bruce Keyson. Runners on the corners, Bell swings into left, Ward should get that, and Gary does, and that will retire the side. Jays leave runners on the corners, go into the bottom of the eighth, no runs, 2 hits, 9 left on for the Jays. They lead it 8-2. So Buddy Bell, Lance Parrish, and Cliff Johnson to face Jimmy Key, who is cruising right along. He should be 2-1 in about 5 minutes. Bell 1 for 3 with a single. Now he's 1 for 4. Ground ball to Fernandez over to first for the out. And that'll do it for Key. Dennis Lamp is coming in. Got it. Oh, I love Lamp's mustache. Looks like he stole Gabe Kaplan's grease, or Groucho Marx's grease paint on that one, didn't he? Oh my goodness. Lamp making his 7th appearance, 1-0, with a save and an ERA of 1.38. 33 years old, former starter for the Cubs, fastball pitcher, 87 mile an hour, and a ground ball plus pitcher. He last appeared on the 23rd against the Royals in an 8-4 loss. So 2 innings that day, 40 pitches, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, and a homer. The win came against these Rangers on the 17th in a 2-inning effort. 13 innings on the season so far, 12 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. The homer came in that game against Kansas City. He walked 6 and struck out 3. So Lamp trying to hold on to a 6-run lead. That's nothing, Tribe fan says. We're talking about Keyson and George Bell. David Justice, circa 1999, went odd job. Goldfinger. And threw his helmet at a pitcher better than Bryce Harper. Pitch to Parrish. Struck him out. He got him on a 1-2 curve. That game where Harper threw the helmet was against the Giants, and I was covering the Nats then. And at one point there was a meme for like the Notebook or something like that, and it's Ryan Zimmerman holding back Bryce Harper, and Ryan looking like the concerned mom or dad, and pretty much, don't you touch my baby. Don't you touch my baby. Here's Cliff Johnson. Cliff is 0 for 3. Pitch to Cliffy. Got him. So he struck out 2. He got them both. How about that? The 2-2 strike 3 look, and we go to the 9th, 8-2 Toronto. So Matusik, Witt, and Barfield. Lenny is 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. To third, Bell across the way, 1 out. Ernie Witt's 2 for 4. He is singled twice with an RBI and a run scored. Again, depending on how things go the rest of today. Tomorrow will be the Royals and the Red Sox at noon. And if there is a cancellation for that, for reasons we've already discussed, that'll be posted on the Digital Dice group on Facebook. Hunter Strickland, was the Giant pitcher. And that went back to a beef they had during a playoff game. I mean, that talk about waiting a long time to settle a score. My goodness. Pitch to Witt. Ernie into right field. Parrish, long way back there. Lance is going to run out of room. It's 9-2 Toronto. So 337 feet down the right field line, and Parrish, there wasn't anything he could do about that. All he could do is turn and watch it go. So here's Barfield. Jesse is 2 for 4. For the love of God, you need 2 outs. Don't hit anybody, for goodness sakes. Barfield has singled twice, scored, and struck out. Stewart deals. There's a fly ball left center. Right. Going way back. George. Well, watch that one go. So Barfield does a slow trot around the bases. And it's now 10-2. Wright got back to the wall, climbed it, and couldn't even get a can of Dr. Pepper out of the deal. At least he didn't hit him. No, now you're going to wonder, because we've already had one fight in this game. So here's Tony Fernandez. Tony's got some body armor on now. 1 for 4. He has singled, struck out, and scored. 10 runs, 17 hits and error, and the Blue Jays have left on 9, which means it could be worse. The Rangers 2-6-0 with 6 left on. Fernandez punches one into left field. Stewart has lost the map here. 18th hit. Would you just get the 2 batters, please? Here's Garcia. Damaso was 1 for 5. A single, a strikeout, and an RBI. From the stretch. Got him. A 1-2. Swung on and missed on the change, and there's 2 out. So here's Mullenix. Rance is 2 for 5. Has singled, scored, twice, scored, grounded into a double play, and struck out. And no. Stay in the game. Mullenix hits a base hit in the left. Computer wanted to pinch hit, huh? So the Blue Jay, and Gary Ward bobbles it. So Fernandez goes to third, and Mullenix takes the extra base. That's a single and an error. For Mosby, who was 4 for 4, he has singled 3 times and homered and driven in 2. So second and third, 2 out. Slot is told to get back behind the plate and just catch what I throw at you. In the center field, right inches over, and that will retire the side. Finally, 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error. We go to the bottom of the 9th in a game that was over early, 10-2, Toronto. So Wright, O'Brien, and Slot to face Lamp here in the 9th. George is 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. Up the middle, that's a base hit. O'Brien is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Nobody out. Bottom of the 9th. The Jays have 19 hits. Pete. Might be 2 here. Fernandez, a great play. Garcia for 1. Over to Upshaw, that's 2. Fernandez saw where that was hit off the bat and was waiting for it when it found his glove. So 2 outs for Slot, who drove in the lone 2 Ranger runs in the 2nd. There's a ground ball to Upshaw. He'll underhand it to Lamp, and the Blue Jays win this one really easy, 10-2. So 10 runs, 19 hits and an error. Mosby's going to be your digital dice player of the game, 4 for 5, a homer, and 2 RBI. Texas, 2 runs, 7 hits and an error. Jimmy Key gets the win. He goes to 2-1, 7 in the 3rd. 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He gave up the homer to Slot, a walk and 3 strikeouts, and Dennis Lamp gets the last 5. Dickie Knowles, well, not a good day. 4 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Dave Schmidt gets the Dave Gardner Goat Award. An inning in the third, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a homer, 2-hit batsman, and an ejection. And Dave Stewart finishes the game 3 1/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, all earned. Let's give you the rest of the scores on this 26th day of April and call it a stream as soon as the computer will cooperate. Other games. The Cardinals beat the Expos. They steal 7 bases. Montreal stole 5. So, grand theft auto at the Big O, but the Cardinals win 13-7. Neil Allen gets the win. He goes to 1-0. Jeff Reardon takes a loss 2 for 2. Tommy Herr, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, 2 for 4. Cubs win. They're 11-4. They beat the Phillies 3-2. Dennis Eckersley goes to 4-0. Jerry Koosman goes to 0-3. Ron Say, 2 for 3, his 5th of the year, and drives in 2. Mets beat the Pirates 2-1. Jesse Orosco goes to 1-1. Holland takes the loss. Poor old Johnny Ray, 2 for 3 with a double. The Red Sox beat the Royals 3-2. Some guy by the name of Clemens goes 2-0. Mark Gubaza, not Gubaza, but Gubaza, goes to 0-1. Darryl Motley hits his 4th of the year, draws a walk, 1 for 3. Cleveland 8, Baltimore 3. Jamie Easterly gets the win. His first Senor Smoke. Denny Martinez goes to 0-3. Andy Thornton, 2 homers. Drives in 4, goes 2 for 5. Minnesota beats Oakland 8-4. Ken Schramm goes to 2-2. Not Cy Young falls to 1-2. And Dwayne Murphy, 3 for 3 for Oakland with 2 doubles. Yankees beat the White Sox 5-2. Rich Bordy beats Tom Seaver. Rigetti gets his 3rd save. Milwaukee beats Jack Morris and the Tigers. Morris is 0-5 to start the year. The Tigers are 7-8, and Morris is 0-5. Sparky's eaten Earl Weaver's Chesterfield. Cecil Cooper 3 for 4 with a double. Houston beats Atlanta 8-3. Bob Nepper 2-2. Steve Bedrosian falls to 0-2. Billy Duran 2 for 4 with a double. San Diego over L.A. 9-3. Dave Dravecki goes to 1-0. Oral Hershiser falls to 2-1. Mike Marshall is 8th of the year, 2 for 4. Atlee Hammaker throws a 3-hitter through 7. They beat the Reds 2-1. The Giants are 7-9. Jay Tibbs, they call him Mr. Tibbs, falls to 1-4. I think I got all the highlights. And last but not least, Seattle beats California 6-4. Jim Beatty goes to 3-0. Jeff Son falls to 0-3. Phil Bradley 3 for 5, his 6th of the year. Again, regarding tomorrow, depending on what happens the rest of today, we will post a cancellation on the Digital Dice Facebook group. If things are okay, it'll be the Royals and the Red Sox at noon. Until then, hopefully I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. So long.